Mic check, mic check. Morning Masters podcast, your host, man, of course. First and foremost, I want to thank all the supporters or listeners every time. I wouldn't be nothing without you guys. Amazing amount of support in the last episode. Got a lot of likes. Got a lot of feedback from it and messages and just Facebook, on Twitter, on Snapchat, a lot of my Instagram, a lot of the snips I put out, been getting a lot of feedback, comments. So I mean a lot. Definitely mean a lot. I try to be very cognizant. I might use that word a lot this episode. I don't know. I try to be very cognizant of the things I say and the type of content I put out. For those reasons alone, just because I know how much it touch individuals that listen to the podcast. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to supporters. Like I said, y'all a big deal, big help, and y'all push me to thrive, to be better each and every episode, to ask better questions, to be better as an interviewer, as a talker, as someone who has to entertain in the podcast. Y'all definitely help me and mold me, continue to be great and try to, strive for better and better each and every episode. All right. A lot of my mindsets I have is because of the support I have. Without the support I have, I probably wouldn't have this mindset. So I want to make sure that's clear. All right. Let me change my hand real quick. So before I start, because like I said, this episode, I wasn't really gonna talk about this kind of stuff because I don't be caring, but because it's in the frenzy right now with my city. If you're not from here, you probably not gonna understand this episode, but I'll make it to where anybody can listen to it. I live in a small city, but a big city. Just a small city, but a big city. And it's a list out right now. Before I get into that, I got a new sweater, no sweatshirt. You know what I'm saying? This is new. See the MCTM podcast, Morning Master. You got the logo right there. Let me know if y'all like the sweater, the sweatshirt. I'll try to put a link out this week so it could be up for sale. I got one where this is yellow as well, so we like the yellow instead. I'll try to wear the next one. So I'm trying to just put these out. It's about to get cold. I know it's hot right now, but it will get chilly at some point, so get your sweatshirts ready. I'm not sure how much they're going to be at. I don't know anything, but I have the product on me, so that's all I can give you. I can give you a representation of how it's going to look, and this is how it's going to look right here. A little bit, you know what I'm saying? Look at that. Get the details. Get the details. Feel me? All right. All right. So there's that. I'll probably be doing that a few times this episode because believe it or not, I do like to talk, but I got things to do. What time is it right now? It's 9:16. I gotta be working 5 in the morning. Lots of stuff going on. I'm trying to put this out and just talk about what I'm talking about. So last year we had the same problem. Like last year, and I say we, I mean the city. People throwing events. People make lists all the time. People give their opinion of who they think the best at this is, who they think the best at this is, who they top 5. This is like barbershop talk. This is anytime you're listing people, anytime you're ranking people, anytime you're asking people to be ranked or you're considering people to be ranked for something, it is always going to be a debate, a topic of discussion. So with that, I want to say shout out to, I ain't going to say names, but shout out to my guy that's behind this. The award show that's supposed to be happening. I don't know if it's a show or not. I haven't even done my due diligence in it. And I'm going to get into that in a minute, why I couldn't do my due diligence, right? So shout out to the people behind it, because when you're behind something like this, you take a lot. You're gonna take a lot of backlash because you're gonna not pick people who feel like they should be picked. All right, so you're gonna take backlash there. You're going to pick people who people feel like shouldn't be nominated at all. They're gonna feel like you made the wrong choice with that person. Like, damn, you ain't picked me, but you picked that person. Oh my God, you're horrible. So you take criticism for that. All right, people gonna ask, what are your qualifications for being able to pick these people because they weren't picked? You're gonna get criticized for that. So it's a lot of criticism gonna be happening. It's gonna be very little. The only time you're gonna get praised is probably by the people that you picked. So I would say if I was doing that, I would suggest if you do this, have every category have about 25 people you could pick from. I feel like you just can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong, right? But then again, like I said, it's the small city. They'll find a way to get upset about something, and that's natural. It's healthy, so it's cool. But shout out to the people behind this, man. I interviewed the guy that I feel like is behind it. I seen him talk about it on live and stuff like that. So shout out to him. I seen a lot of the nominees. I got screenshots of some things. More the Masters was on there. So shout out to y'all for that. So yeah, it was a very extensive list from what I've seen screenshotted, right? With that being said, I want to get into some things real quick when it comes to that, right? So we got to draw a fine line. We got to have a fine line here, man. It's a fine line. This city that I love so much, but this city has this thing where when you aren't being recognized, oh, let's get into that. This city has a thing where when you aren't being recognized on social media, let me not say this city, America. So like this the climate of today's society has this thing where if you're not nominated on social media, if social media isn't recognizing you for something that you feel like you should be recognized for, oh, it's trash. Hold up. So when social media isn't recognizing you for something that you feel like you're working hard at and you feel like you're doing great at, then something is wrong. This is what we got to get out of, man. We got to get out of that mindset of feeling like social media is the end all be all. It is a great tool for promoting things. It's a great tool for getting your business out there. It's a great tool for networking. It's a great tool for selling things. It's a great tool for just like having a look and being able to network, talk to people, merchandise your things, put things out at a rapid pace, just a click of a button. That is it's dope for all those things. All right, it should not validate your feelings about what you're doing. Social media should not be the validation about whether you're great at something or you're just not good at something. Whether you are thriving at something or you're not thriving at something. I don't think social media should be that determining factor. Granted, numbers do matter. So if depending on what kind of business you're in, I can see those things having a factor and mattering there. But when you talking about here, like in the heart, or just what you think in your mind, you cannot have social media making your mind up for you. That's just the facts. I don't care who it is. It could be, I ain't gonna say God, but it could be a high power person themselves putting an award show together, and I still feel like, as just me personally, I'm gonna speak for me. I feel like if I'm nominated, not nominated, if I'm picked, not picked, none of that is gonna really determine whether how I feel about my craft, right? Because you gotta be realistic with yourself. I'm gonna be 100 in this episode, right? You gotta be realistic with yourself. You gotta be realistic. And I say it to say, and there's no disrespect to nobody, but a lot of people that aren't, whether it's a list, this list, the next from last year, this year, when you aren't on a list to be nominated for something, I just feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like 9 times out of 10, you didn't put the work in to be on that list. I'm just be honest with you. I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna say it 'cause I know everybody gonna say it. Everybody ain't gonna be brave enough to say that. There's some people who just honestly you just haven't put the work in to be on that list. When you look at lists and you look at nominations and nominees and you see, even in real life, let's use real life, best rap album, right? You have somebody who feel like they got a dope rap album, but how does it compare to the people that are being nominated? How does that album compare? Even if you're talking about numbers, even if you're talking about impact, even if you're talking about just the art itself and how sonically it sounds, do you fit in with that pack? And I'm not saying you can't keep up, you don't make the same music, or you don't do hair like this person, or you don't podcast like this person, you don't take pictures like that person, you don't, host gigs like this person, whatever. I don't know, like that's whatever. That's neither here nor there. But I feel like sometimes like you have to be real with yourself and really be like, you know what? Okay, I feel like I can compete with these people. I can see why I wasn't nominated here. I can see why I wasn't, given, being in that category. I can see why I didn't get picked. And sometimes it's not nothing inner. It's not even anything in you. It's not nothing you did, art wise or work wise, ethic wise, right? So much of you being known, being out there, being picked for things. When people think of you and they think of whatever entity you are in, whether it's doing hair, whether it's being a model, whether it's rapping, whether it's singing, whether it's podcasting, whether it's taking pictures, whether it's shooting videos, regardless of what it is, designing clothes, being a club promoter. Well, I don't know all of the you know the nominations, but or all the categories rather. But I'm saying right off the top of my head, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you nominated for, right? I feel like you can't allow social media to determine whether you're good at that. Like you know whether you're good at that or not. That's the bottom line. All right. Um, I feel like trophies can be made. You can make trophies, bro. Trophies can be made if you really feel like you putting in the work to do this, or you putting in the work to be nominated for this or be nominated for that. Just make your own award show. Get your own trophy. I put a post out. I said I'm not being. This be the problem like with social media right here. Right. Let me tell you my problem with social media. So I posted something a little minute ago, and people laughing. Like, this is the thing. I said I ain't trying to be funny, but here are a few places that make trophies. You could just give yourself your own award and post it on the gram. I got Trophy Gifting Center, which is on 1755 Gordon Highway. I got Trophy Shop, which is in Martinez, Georgia. And I got BNS Engraving Trophy Shop, which is 3733 Washington Road. Those are 3 places that you can make trophies at if you want a trophy that bad. I posted that. People laughing. I'm dead ass. Like, I'm not I'm not joking. I know I'm laughing right now, but I'm not playing. I'm not playing. Like, if you're really upset about not being nominated on someone else's list, make your own list. Make your own award show. Like, I don't know, like, just make your own. It's okay. You like, so yeah, people have gotten so invested into what people on social media believe that they think that that's the end all be all. And then it's a etiquette to certain things, man. It's a certain etiquette that you have to give to certain things where it's like, I feel like you not being nominated for something, I feel like I judge people of how you respond. I'm going to judge you of how you respond to certain things. So I'm going to judge you of how you respond to not being nominated for something. If you start whining and you start belittling and criticizing other people and things like that, I'm going to think you a hater and a sore loser, but a hater. I can't even call somebody that a sore loser because technically speaking, you already lost. So you're not really a sore loser at all because you're not even competing to lose. You're not nominated. But to complain and to whine about it and criticize somebody else, it's kind of wild. Like, this is our own independent entity right here, just doing something for the city, you know what I'm saying, to shed light on people doing things in the city. So, like, you didn't get picked, you didn't get nominated, so you're going to shit on everybody else who put in hard work. Like, you didn't get nominated, and you feel like you put in work, but damn, everybody else who put in work. And that's what I was saying, like, not being able to do my due diligence. So I feel like I haven't been able to, like, fully see what this award show is about and why, like, who, what, when, why is about it, because it's been so much whining and complaining about the fact that, oh, I ain't get nominated. Oh, I ain't get nominated. This person should be nominated. This person should be nominated. That person should have put in more work. That person should have networked more. That's what it is. Like, whether you're a club promoter, whether you're a singer, a rapper, a dancer, you beatbox, you know what I'm saying? You podcast, you don't podcast, you sometimes podcast, but you got a podcast, whatever it is, right? You have to network. So a lot of times people don't know your name, don't know who you are. It's not about your product. It's not about what you're doing. It's not that you're doing something wrong per se. It's not your product is terrible per se. It's not your product is great. It's the fact that you're not networking, so nobody know who you are. Like, you can be putting your stuff out there. You can be promoting all you want. You can be having the top of whatever product it is. I don't care what product it is. It could be hair. It could be photography. It could be videography. Like I said, podcast. Whatever the entertainment thing is, dancing, modeling, rapping, singing, whatever it is. If you're not networking, nobody knows who you are. People think that you just got to put work in. You got to put work in on top of work on top of work. It's other things. Like, work is just like, it's like one tier. It's a big tier because the work ethic, all that stuff is tier. But work is just work. Ethic is something different. Networking is something different. Promoting something different. Having a good product is something different. There's so much tiers to all the stuff that go on one thing. Like, you can't just tell me, oh, I'm better than this person. How? What are you doing better? Okay, you make better this, or you do better that. You talk better. You more entertaining than this person. Okay, you're funnier than that person. Okay, but how do you fare up to what you're doing with everything? Like, the total package. Are you networking? Do you have a good product? You know what I'm saying? Do you promote well? Do you have a good work ethic? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have a good name attached to you? Do you have good business practices? All this stuff matter, and I think that sometimes people not thinking about that. They're just thinking about the name and what I do. So I wouldn't dare. I don't big myself up and nothing like that, but I wouldn't dare put myself in a category with anybody else that's necessarily podcasting, because I feel like I do my own thing how I do my own thing. Now, if somebody else does something similar to me, that's cool. You got Slim. You got to sit down with Slim. Me and Slim be like that. We dope, be friends and all that stuff, but I feel like we do different things. We approach it the same. Damn near. Hell yeah, we approach it the same. Work ethic is on 10, way through the roof. Work ethic is there. We gonna be promoting, we gonna network, we gonna speak, we gonna do this thing. But I feel like we are different. We do different things. You know, we just do it differently. I'm not gonna compare me to him. I'm not gonna compare me. I just had a whole video. That's another thing. Like, you know, it's times like this you get a chance to even show the type of person you are, or just get judged in a different way, or you get tested. It's a test. You don't get nominated. Okay, cool. You're not nominated for whatever this is. I don't care. You do hair, you ain't nominated. They didn't nominate Keisha, or whatever. Cool. You feel like Keisha trash at doing hair, right? Which y'all cool. Big her up. Share it. Yo, I'm voting for Keisha. Da da da. This is dope. Blah blah blah. Cool. You show love. Nobody likes a solo loser. Nobody likes somebody that's bitter. You can't be a solo loser and be bitter. You cannot do that. That is distasteful. It's nasty work. It's disgusting. It looks awful. It don't look good on nobody. That shit is just ugh. You gotta be able to clap for people even when you're not winning something. You gotta be able to clap. And you can't just diss a entity or diss a person's profession or business because they didn't pick you. People, I'm being known to a lot of people. This whole thing, that particular person has his own thing. He just had a movie premiere. He got his own thing he does. I didn't hear him complain, like, oh, I ain't gonna support my movie premiere. I ain't gonna support for this. He doing his own thing. And sometimes people don't even know that, so you don't know the person that's behind doing all this stuff, but you feel like you should have been nominated. You're not networking. You don't know the person throwing it. Of course they didn't pick you. Y'all don't know each other. Granted, I do feel like lists and things of that nature sometimes be about who you know. Yes, it's about who you know sometimes. The word is about who you know. So newsflash, wake up. The word is about who you know. What you know is very important, yes, but who you know and what you know, whew, that's a mean combo. It's a mean combo. You can't have the what you know without the who you know, and you can't have the who you know without the what you know. Even though who you know will get you to what you know, but regardless of the fact, that's a mean combo. All right. And I feel like we gotta like just we gotta draw that thin line, man. It's a thin line. I feel like it's a thin line, and that line comes from this, right? I feel as though people want to say, you know, man, Augusta is a popularity contest, or man, that support stuff is a popularity contest. No, man, it's a work ethic contest. All right, it's a networking contest. All right, it's a who got the best product contest. It's a who's the most consistent contest. It's a who's serious about this contest. It's a lot of contests going on at once, and trust me, popularity ain't one of them. But all them things I just named will get you that popularity that y'all speak of. That's what it be about. I don't care who you are. Even the most popular I take Reggie who came from nothing. Right? Me personally, I didn't just go buy Came from Nothing because it was Reggie. I saw something I liked. At some point he started making stuff. I saw a product I liked. I felt like he was very consistent. He was doing it for a good little minute. People started wearing it, so it started to get more popular. They didn't just start wearing it out of the blue. It started to get more popular because he made good shorts. He made good material. He had good clothing. He had a business. He had good business practices. Was very consistent. Was networking. He was very open. Started speaking more. Reggie don't even talk. Did a whole podcast with me. Then you go into, damn, okay, let me go support this brand. I didn't go support him because he was Reggie Middleton. I did that when he played basketball. I went and played. I went and bought the tickets to the game. That's what I did then. So it's never about just being popular. It's always more than that. And I think sometimes that mindset, you thinking that, makes you think that, oh, if I be popular, then this will happen. That ain't how it works. Even the popular people will tell you that. That is not how it works. People only seeing, not even end results, but they're seeing results. They're seeing results. That's it. They're seeing results. And they're thinking that's the end result. Oh, okay, well, he's popular, so that's why I listen to the podcast. He's popular, so that's why I like the pictures. He's popular, so that's why they're sharing his links. No, I put the work in. I've been consistent. I've been networking. I've made relationships throughout the years with different people. My business practice is top tier. My professionalism is top tier. By the way, man, look, I got these shirts, More Than Masters podcast shirts, right? MTTM podcast, More Than the Masters, Augusta, Georgia, 2022. Got the Masters logo right there. Let me know if you want to get one. I'm here to sell my sweatshirt. I ain't here to talk about the thing like that, but I'm gonna use that to my advantage. You know why? Let me tell you this, right? Had I got nominated or not, or had I been on this ballot or not, which I don't know how to get there. I don't know none of the specifics. I can't tell you to vote for nothing. I don't know. Vote for who you want to vote for. I don't care. But I am gonna use this platform and this topic to sell you this right here. So, by the way, MTTM podcast, got the thing right there. And I like it. It's a nice little sweater, We got the yellow joints right here. You like yellow, cool. But yeah, More Masters podcast, make sure you go cop that. Support me. But yeah, I've seen a lot on social media lately, and just I think that today was very, very eye opening to how 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 small minded we can be sometimes, because you should use this as a, honestly, if you got an entity that you like, if you make hair, you sell hair, you sell whatever, I don't care what you sell. If you selling something, you making something, making art, and you've nominated, or you feel like you should have been nominated, and you weren't nominated, you weren't even thought of, whatever, you should be doing something to talk about this in a professional setting, to push yourself, because this is a hot topic right now, right? So this is what I mean by consistency and hard work. So I worked all day, but I know that this has been a hot topic. I haven't dove into it yet to see what the topic is and what's the ins and outs of it, but I can get the gist of it because it's the same shit every year. So same shit, different total, right? Um, so I can talk about it from that standpoint. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell this sweatshirt that I got, by the way. So MTTM podcast, got the thing right there, One Master 2022. But I'm gonna sell the sweatshirt, and I'm gonna also talk. I'm gonna talk to y'all. I'm gonna get my shit off, my thoughts, right? And at the same time, I'm going to give you a message, sell a sweatshirt, talk about the brand. You know why? Because I'm being consistent. All right, I'm networking. Because what this is gonna do is I'm gonna touch somebody with this video. You know what? Damn, he is right. Blase, blase, blase. I'll talk to you about it. If you ain't nominated, come on the show. We'll talk about why you should be nominated, off camera or on camera. I don't care. I'll give you the real. But we're gonna keep it a buck. Sometimes when you're not nominated because you ain't putting enough work. Yeah. Sometimes people mimic things, and I'm seeing a lot of microwave stuff. People like, even with brands or something like that. People think a brand is just putting words on a shirt. That's not a brand. It's not a clothing line. I don't care how many shirts you sold that said 2 words. I don't care how many shirts you sold. That's not a brand. That's you throwing something on a shirt. But I ain't here to diss nobody. I'm just talking. That's not you being a fashion designer. That's you putting words on a shirt. All right. Oh man, this is crazy to have this conversation every year, man. This is really bad. I feel like we could be more, have more of a camaraderie, and really have something. Like I feel like this should have been something that should have been bigged up. You should be bigging up all the nominees. I don't know how many nominees there are, how many categories there are, but for every nominee, there should be a bunch of shares, because it should be celebrated. If you ain't make it, you ain't make it. Cool. You got next year, or the next time somebody choose to make a list, or the next time somebody choose to make an award show. Or, like I said, go on Google, get your own award show, take a picture, post it on the gram, call it a day. Nobody gonna, awards ain't gonna make or break you. It ain't gonna make your sales go through the roof. This is just something somebody's doing for the city, to put on for the city, and to make us feel good about what we're doing, to say keep pushing, keep going. This is a pat on the back. That's all this is. It's a pat on the back. Whether you lose or win, nominated, not nominated, well, you gotta be nominated first to be pat on the back. So I'm not trying to diss y'all. If you wasn't nominated, I'm not dissing nobody, but you have to be nominated to be pat on the back. But what I'm saying is, whether you looked at, overlooked, underlooked, when you're overlooked for something, that's your chance to show people like, yo, you should have picked me, or you should have looked at me, or you should have, you gotta have that within you. Being overlooked, the answer to being overlooked ain't going on social media complaining about who was looked at. That's wrong. You're just making me go look at that person more. You should be showing me why they overlooked you, so that I can, or as the consumer can, go ahead and look and see what you're doing and be like, damn, this person should have been picked, or prove me wrong, or work harder. That's an option. One of the options for you not getting nominated or not getting picked for something could be you're not putting enough work in, and that could be the very thing holding you back. You're not putting in the work. That simple. It could be that simple. It could also be you not networking enough. It could be you not consistent enough. It could be you got a great product, but damn, these people are more consistent. They network more. They got better business practices. They got a better not social media presence, but they got a better presence online, business wise, on social media. That stuff matters. You could be funny all you want on social media. What are you promoting? You're a comedian, but you're not making jokes on social media. What are you doing? You're not making TikToks. What are you doing? You're not doing anything funny. What are you doing? All right, you make clothes on social media, but you never win your clothes. You take pictures of other clothes. What are you doing? It's a bunch of things that go into all this stuff that I think people not really recognizing. I don't know who's complaining, who's not complaining. I just know, because I've been around long enough to know that once the list come out, attitudes also come out. All right, once the list comes out, the attitudes come out as well. So somebody drop a list, then you got people dropping the attitude, and you have you got a division. You got people who mad that they didn't get on the list, that they outside the club. People who don't care about the list, so they just gonna make it whatever, whatever. And then you got people who just like whatever, like, hey man, just do better next time, da 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 da. It's all these different emotions and attitudes when you calling out people for things they're doing, and then people are being or feel like they're being overlooked. But I'm not here for that. What I'm here for is to tell you, I got these sweatshirts, right? More Than the Masters podcast sweatshirts. More Than the Masters Augusta 2022. Just hit me up. Let me know you want one your size. I'll send you my Cash App or however you want to pay for it. I'll get you that, or I can get you the link or whatever the case may be. You feel me? That's how we gonna do it, man. We just doing it just like that. We not. I ain't here for the riffraff and to diss nobody. I tell y'all, man, it's not the end all be all. We cannot let social media make our minds up for us. We can't let award shows make us feel like we're less than, or make us feel like we're not doing a good job. But it's eye opening, and I think sometimes people don't want to. Sometimes people want to be blinded. That's what I got from this whole award show thing every year, right? I feel like sometimes you got people who want to be blinded. You got people who want to feel like they're doing more than they actually are, and they don't want to know they're being outworked. People are more consistent than them. People have better business practices than them. People are better at something than them. People have better product than them. People haven't put more work in than them. People are taking it more serious than them. People want to be blinded to that sometimes. And I think stuff like this wakes people up like, damn, you know what? Every time I see that motherfucker, he is working all the time. Every time I see him, he is in the studio all the time. Every time I see her, she is on booked up. Every time I see this person, they are rapping, or they go to the studio shooting videos, they doing interviews, they shooting videos, they freestyling, they rapping, all the stuff, like they putting in work. And people want to be blinded to that sometimes. People want to be blinded to the fact that they're not putting in the same amount of work as their peers. But what happens is, times like this make you realize that, what you think you're doing at a high level ain't a high level. It's a very mediocre level, if that. So just step your game up, and it don't mean step your game up for everybody. For some people are gonna get overlooked. That's the thing about this. It's networking. It's so much that goes into picking people and picking nominations that sometimes just based off networking alone, you're gonna get picked. Should you get picked? Probably not. Should somebody else get picked? Probably so. But that person failed to network. That person failed to be seen in this person's eyes. Cool. People will mess up. People will get it wrong sometimes, and it happens. I'm not saying this happened here, but it will happen eventually. And you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with that. People are going to overlook you in life. You got to be okay with that. Like, you're going to get overlooked. It's going to happen. It's human nature that for somebody to overlook you. It's going to happen. Your job should be to be the best you could be at what you're being, and then find out why you got overlooked. And if you don't care, cool, because you got your too cool for school kids who, I don't care about that award show. All right, cool. You told me 15 times already. So do you care about it or not? Like, you done told me 15 times you don't care about the award show. All right, I got it on time 7. So what's going on? But if you care about why you didn't get picked up or why you got overlooked or whatever case may be, then you find that root cause, what you think the root cause is, you work at that, and you make sure you're never overlooked again. It's lessons in all of this stuff, bro. Like, complaining ain't it. Complaining is distasteful. It's nasty work. But I'm not here for that. I'm here to sell this shirt. Like, I got a More Than Masters podcast shirt right here. MTTN podcast. All right, be selling them. Get at me. Message me. Facebook me. Twitter, Instagram. And I was going to talk about other stuff, but I ain't going to lie. Now I feel like not talking about it. I'll say this, man. One thing I don't do on social media, anybody know me, I ain't going to argue with anybody on social media. You got your opinion, I got my opinion. You get your point off, I get my point off, right? The beauty to all of this stuff about getting your points off and having opinions and all that stuff, the beauty to that for me is the fact that, I got my own podcast, so I can talk freely for 40, 50 minutes, 60 minutes if I wanted to without getting interrupted at all. I don't have time to go back and forth on social media with nobody. I refuse to do so. Just like this, if I felt the way about an award show or a list, I got this right here. I can sit my camera up, put my microphone on, my lighting on, my sweatshirt on that I got for sale, by the way. MTTN podcast, More Than Masters podcast sweatshirts we got for sale right now. We selling them, by the way. That's what the video is for. It's because we selling them. It's not for anything else. But the award show is cool, but we selling them. But yeah, man, if I felt the way about it, I sit here, I talk about it for however long, get my stuff off, my thoughts off, hit and record, start editing the video and put it out, and that's it. I'm just gonna put the work in. I don't know about y'all. I ain't here for nothing else. I'm here to put the work in. My goal, I don't care about winning a best this or best that or best that. My goal, I got a day in, day out goal. All right. So my day in, day out goal is to have the best product, be the most consistent, be the most serious about what I'm doing, get better and better every day at what I'm doing, outwork anybody that's doing what I'm doing so I can stand out at what I'm doing, and just make sure that I connect with my audience and my listeners and practice good business practices and also be a tip top profession at what I'm doing right here. I want to be professional in all settings. So that's why I say I don't play the podcast. I never have you in a podcast to flirt, trying to do it. I don't do none of that stuff. When it comes to the podcast, I'm super serious. Anybody that has dealt me and did business with me can tell you I don't be doing a podcast talking to you. Then after I hit record, like, yo, what's up? Let's link. No, I'm strictly business with this. I'm serious, 100%. I don't play with this. I don't play around. I'm in tune. I'm putting the work in. I'm trying to be consistent. My goals. I have goals that I want to do when it comes to this, and I strive at them. If I win an award in the process, great. If I don't, but I'm nominated for an award in the process, great. If I'm not nominated for an award in the process and I don't win an award in the process, great. Like, it don't matter to me. None of that is gonna determine what I'm doing. I bought this camera without an award. I bought that light without an award. I bought these mics without an award. I got to this level without awards. None of that matters. And this is for somebody who, I'm not saying I can't win or I won't win awards and to come in the future, or people don't look at me as the best podcaster, the best this, best that, and the third. I ain't saying that. But what I'm saying is that doesn't make or break what I'm doing. Everything I'm doing is because I want to do it. And I think that everybody should have that same energy when it comes to things like this, because what's going to happen is you're going to look for social media to validate your thing. You're going to look for social media to validate things that they can't validate all the time. Social media can't validate what's in your heart. All right? Social media is not going to validate your work ethic. It's not going to validate how consistent you are. You validate that. You control that. And that's I'm gonna end it there. I'll say this last thing, man. Right? For anybody who hasn't been nominated and feel like they just couldn't big up the nominators, anybody who hasn't been nominated and feels like they were too bitter or too much of a sole loser or upset or in an uproar, and they feel like they couldn't big up people who were nominated or people who were recognized, whatever you want to call it. I want you to think about this, right? Other day I did an episode. I think I'm like I'm doing now. And my first clip I put out was about another podcaster whose name is Kim Macon, who is one of my favorite podcasts. I love the way he puts his stuff together. I just feel like he does great work. When I put that snippet out, I tagged him, and I put his link in there, which I normally only put my link on my stuff. I could have directed everybody to my video. No, I put his link in there. Yo, shout out to him. He's the GOAT. Check him out, da-da-da. This is me bigging up someone else that's doing the same thing I'm doing. I'm bigging him up, though, right? And the best thing that happened to me this week so far is he shared it, and he said, dope, appreciate the praise or something like that. And he was like, but, don't let him fool you. He's the best podcaster around here. And for him to say something like that means so much to me that, honestly, it's nothing that award going to do to, like, make me feel like, damn, that's a high. That's a high, But I didn't do it for that reason. But that's a high to be on when somebody you think highly of thinks highly of you. That's a high. And they don't make awards for that. Morning Master Podcast be out. Make sure you get your sweatshirt, man. MTTN Podcast, Morning Master Podcast be out. If you ain't get nominated, it's okay. If you did get nominated, congrats to you. If you win, that's even more amazing. I'm proud of everybody that's doing good work. I'm proud of everybody that's putting 100% behind their craft. I'm proud of everybody that's being consistent. I'm proud of everybody that got dope and great business practices. I'm proud of everybody that is super professional. I'm proud of everybody that make their meetings on time. I'm proud of everybody that keep their promises business-wise, keep their dates business-wise. I'm proud of everybody that is just really putting in the work. And it's so many people in the city that's putting in work. It's almost impossible to get it right on every level of everything that's going on in the city. It's so much behind the scenes work that be done. It's so much behind the scenes work that be done, and like you can't really put an award on the best behind the scenes person. You know how many awards I would give Karen Gordon if I give her? I can't give Karen Gordon every single award. Some things she did play the back. It's so many people playing the back. It's so many supporters pushing you up. It's so many of your peers pushing you in the right direction. It's impossible to get it right 100%. get big up the people who get recognized and wait your turn. It's beauty in waiting your turn. Trust me. Morning Masters podcast be out, man. Buy the damn sweater.